All right, so welcome back to the channel, guys. It is me, AD Summer before. So today, me and Matt are going to break down the Afcon Asian Cup. While we're going to do that, of course, I want to know what you guys think in the comments below. Please remember to like and subscribe, and of course, subscribe to Matt's channel, man. So Matt's, man, how are you enjoying both tournaments? Because I feel like Matchday 2, a lot of crazy results happened.
Yeah, it took a while, especially in the Asian Cup, to get a correct match prediction. I don't even know if I did get a correct score prediction in the African Cup of Nations, but it's been wild, and I'm sure we'll go through each group along the video.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, remember, guys, to like and subscribe. We're going to keep this around an hour long, of course. There'll be time description below. I think we'll just do it like in terms like we'll do two big timestamps, one Afcon, one Asian Cup. So Matt's, which one do you start first with, man? Afcon or Asian Cup? I think we should start with Asian Cup first, in my opinion. But it's up to you, man. You're my guest, so I'll let you decide.
Yeah, I think that's been the one going in chronological order as well. So let's start there.
All right. So let me pull up the Wikipedia page. We'll use the Wikipedia, by the way, because it tells the seedings and stuff like that. We can also get a clear picture of the knockout stage. Obviously, it's kind of hard to preview the knockout stage since we don't have all the teams confirmed, but some of the teams have booked their spots. So, yeah, let me go ahead. Share right here. Okay. So, let's start with Group A. Matt's, for me, this is by far one of the most, for me, this might be the worst group in Asian Cup in terms of quality.
Yeah, Qatar have been given no competition at all. In the Lebanon-China game, I do think China did more, but it's clearly there was something missing in their attack. And then the Tajikistan versus Qatar game, whilst I think Tajikistan did all right in the midfield battle and at times made it difficult for Qatar. Qatar was still the better team, and they even had a goal ruled out as well. From the perspective of these other three nations, they'll feel there's more to come. China, of course, definitely need a result, but that's when you consider that that last game between Tajikistan and Lebanon is a free-for-all. But I think, China definitely probably should have, if they were going to go through, they should have by now at least got a win. And the others, it's not looked good for them, especially in attack. And Tajikistan, they have been organised, but it's just the goals that are the problem.
Yeah, you know, if you think about it, Matt, if you deep it down, besides Qatar, let's just exclude Qatar for this argument, all the other teams in this group, all the other nations, haven't even scored a single goal. I just realized.
Exactly.
That's actually sad. Wow, that's actually something I thought I wouldn't be saying. So, for me, Matt, is going to be very interesting. So, yeah, because you can see Qatar is clearly the best. They're clearly the best team in this group. But the issue is just that there's really no competition, you know, and that's why for me it's a worst group, because in terms of quality, it's worst. Now, in terms of competitiveness, it's definitely one of the most competitive. I think in terms of competitiveness, I think this is probably the most competitive group in the Asian Cup. So, I just think it's going to be interesting. So, Matt, I obviously did release my predictions video. I recommend you guys check it out. So, who do you have in second? Who do you have to advance from this group? I'm actually curious to know.
I'd take out Lebanon, because unless they win, then they've got that -3 goal difference regardless. And even then, it's not in their hands. So they could win and finish third, and then that goal difference is a problem. I gotta say Qatar and Tajikistan have top two. And I think China can get a point, and then it's just down to, are they going to be one of the best third place teams?
Yeah, exactly. I also have the same as you. I believe that China will not beat Qatar, but I think they'll get a draw, which will, I think, edge them for third place. Will that be enough for a best third place teams? We'll have to check. I think that might be enough.
There's some for the way things are looking, there are some third place teams that aren't doing that great, but I would imagine there'll be at least 3 teams, possibly 4, that'll be on 4 points. So that's kind of worrying from China's point of view.
Riri says, I think Tajikistan will get second and China third. I think most people are going with that. I think from what I can tell, I think most people are going with that. Because for me, for China to finish second, they have to beat Qatar. And I'll be honest with you, it's going to be difficult to beat Qatar, even with their B team, because we haven't, it's going to be difficult. So I don't see China winning. Now, to be fair, they may win, which if they do win, then Tajikistan, Lebanon, they can't finish higher. So it's going to be interesting. Would you be surprised if China beats Qatar, Mats?
I'm thinking somewhere between not really and a little bit. I think China are capable, but they're still ill and underdog. Maybe.
Yeah, like I said, this group has been very, very mediocre, and I've not been impressed. Honestly, even with Qatar, I haven't been impressed with these guys. I feel like the group is just so mediocre that they're gonna get tested in the knockout stage. Like, this isn't good test. Like, because correct me if I'm wrong, who did Qatar play in the round of 16? Because let's assume they top the group, right? I think they play in the round of 16. Is it I think it's a group. I think it's Uzbekistan, Oman. No, wait. They play, I think it's Palestine, right?
The third place? Potentially Palestine, yes.
Honestly,
but we'll get to. I think Qatar have probably had a 7 out of 10 performance in the group overall. So I give them some, based on what I've seen of, whenever they've scored, they've taken their goals well, and I think they probably could have had another goal against Tajikistan. They are not the best team in the tournament, but I think the credit to them is due.
Yeah, and to be fair, I did say this before, and I'm going to continue to reiterate this. In these kind of tournaments, you don't want to peak too early. You want to build as the tournament goes on. So maybe Qatar will do that. Okay, we'll just stop the group. We're not going to play the best football, but we're going to come alive at the knockout stage. And that's kind of what France did in 2018. Remember France 2018? They weren't really that convinced of the group stage. They just about got the results. At the knockout stage is where they played great football. Do you agree, Mats?
Certainly in that example, yes.
So, potentially. So, yeah, we researched that China beating Qatar B team is very possible. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be too surprised. Yeah. I kind of agree with Mats. But I would be somewhat surprised considering that this Qatar is at home. So, that's going to be difficult. And so, yeah. At the Tajikistan, Lebanon, it's like a winner take all. Whichever team wins that game, they're basically going to go qualify. So, now if it ends in a draw, I think it's really bad for both teams. So, do you think 2 points will be enough? I don't think 2 points will be enough.
Definitely not.
Yeah. All right, let's move to Group B. Actually, let's read this last comment. We're going to move to Group B. Riri says that Afcon FIFA will get player of the tournament. Ooh, all right. Group B. I'll let you start first with this one, Mats.
I'm guessing we're going off Matchday 2 rather than the group as a whole.
Yeah, let's do Matchday 2, and then we'll talk about the group as a whole, I suppose, and then maybe do preview Matchday 3.
Well, the first game, Australia, I'd say they're a little bit better than against India. and maybe they probably could have got our second goal, and towards the end they were actually putting pressure on Syria to kill the game off. But Syria have come up with another respectable performance. Only one goal conceded against the two group favourites. And when it does come to that Syria game, if they've got their shooting boots, I think they're in a pretty safe position to win that game.
Yeah, definitely. See, the thing is, like, Australia, for me, they've been so underwhelming, man. I expected more from them. Kind of like Qatar in some essence. It's just that they've been getting the wins, but they haven't really been convincing. That's kind of my concern. And then Uzbekistan, India, man. Oh my God, that was a horror show. That was an absolute horror show. I am so like I knew Uzbekistan would win, but man, I did not think Uzbekistan would destroy India like that. You know.
The only bit of footage I've seen from this game is from Fogden's vlog, and this was, and when we consider that it took Australia a while to get going, and the fact that Syria had held Uzbekistan, we wondered how's this going to turn out for Uzbekistan, and they ended up. They ended up actually making it very comfortable. And we could even say that Syria game was a one-off. I don't think they're going to get first place in the next game, but I think they could. If they play Oman in the next round, it's a fairly 50-50 tie. So I think top two's pretty much settled.
Yeah. So Matt, should we give some praise to Syria? Because Syria, for me, were a team that a lot of people had low expectations for. I didn't see anyone back Syria to advance for this group. I mean, as one of the best third place teams.
I did pick them to advance. Although even then, I didn't think they'd get something out of Uzbekistan.
Exactly. And they put up a really good showing against Australia. And for me, in my opinion, they were unlucky against Australia. I think they honestly did not deserve to lose that game. They were so unfortunate. But, it is what it is. And for Syria, like I said, like you said, Matt, there was a lot of low optimism for Syria coming into this Asian Cup. Very old team. One of the best players that just retired from the national team, Omar Al-Sama. He was one of their most integral players. He retired. And it was just incredible for Syria. The only thing I criticize with Syria is that they got to do better in the final third. That's my only criticism. Yeah. And if that's my only criticism. Other than that, I have no criticism. As for India, I'm very disappointed. And for those I don't know, I do have some roots in Indian. I'm not fully Indian, obviously, but I do have some roots. And the fact that India did this kind of performance is absolutely shambolic. Okay, the Australia one, I can't really fault them too much for that one. But, man, that Uzbekistan was shambles. Shameful, man. Because the goals they conceded were absolutely elementary school defending. It was terrible defending. Like against Australia, you can at least see they had a game plan when it came to defensive. Like, the goals they conceded against Australia were actually earned. It wasn't like Australia, Australia had to work through. They had to get some luck. Uzbekistan one, the goals were so bad defending. It was just so bad. And I don't know India also been terrible in the final third, which I'm not really surprised with. I just been disappointed in the defense in particular. What do you think, Mats?
Yeah, with not knowing how Uzbekistan will respond to that Syria game, and considering how well India had done against Australia, you'd thought they'd at least make it at least a bit closer. But from what I saw, I don't know whether that result against Australia kind of made them think that they were better than they really were. But it's looking bleak going into that last game. And even if they do beat Syria, look at the goal difference.
Yeah, India, I'm saying this right now, guys. If India somehow win against Syria and still manage to advance as one of the best third place teams, that would be a miracle.
Yes.
Because I think India would have to basically destroy Syria 6-0 just to be on positive goal difference. And let's be real, man. As we've seen with Syria defensively, I don't think it's happening. It's going to be a very tight game. That game.
I think Syria are in a better position to score multiple goals than India as well.
Yeah, that's true. Like, I think Syria and India are kind of both on the same level when it comes to defense. Like, they're both been defensively been solid. But the difference is that Syria haven't been that bad defensively, whereas India have been. And Syria, I do think, like, their goal difference is still, like, -1. It's still respectable. They can still have a chance. And if they win, they go through as one of the third-place teams. So, yeah, for India, man, very disappointing. Shout out to Fazliyev. What a young talent that is from Uzbekistan. And he's plays for CSK Moscow, Matt. I wouldn't be surprised if he makes a big move in the summer window.
Well, there's definitely a limited amount of teams you could go to, but I will also pick that Syria. I will also pick up on that Syria-Australia game. You mentioned Syria had done well in terms of they could have maybe got an equalizer, but but it's not like us at back after they scored. They had some chances, and towards the end they could have killed the game. B's looking relatively straightforward.
Yeah, I think that one is interesting. So, in my personal opinion, I don't think Syria will advance. I think they'll draw against India, which will unfortunately end for them. But yeah, if Syria do win, interesting, Matt. That's good to hear. Yeah, I'm hoping India can at least score one goal before they bow the tournament, man. Just score one goal, man, please. One goal. Come on. We'll see how that pans out. And Australia, Uzbekistan, I agree with you, Matt. I don't think Uzbekistan can top the group. I think for me personally, I think Australia, Uzbekistan will end in a draw, which will mean that Australia tops. So, Australia first, Uzbekistan second, third, Syria advance. All right. Moving on to Group C. Iran for me have been solid, but I don't know, man. I don't like this idea of putting Taremi at camp. What is up with that? Has Taremi played at camp for Porto? Because I don't think so, from my knowledge. Maybe you're a Porto fan, so you probably know better than I do.
It's not really somewhere that he plays for Porto. I'm guessing the idea of putting him in that position is that we saw, again, for example, with Iran versus USA, Taremi played behind Azmoun. So I'm guessing the thinking behind that comes from games like that. But I think at the same time, it's a case of that it's not quite they've overdone it, but they've I guess they've read into Taremi playing behind Azmoun in the wrong way. And when it came to that Hong Kong versus Iran game, Hong Kong did do well, but Iran just underwhelming. Apart from the goal, they just weren't that good, to be honest. And one thing I will say is they played at Khalifa International Stadium, which was the game where England beat them 6-2. But so maybe the omen has come into a bit of an effect with just the one on-goal win. But at least they've come out with a happier memory than back in the last World Cup. And as for Palestine versus UAE, it's a game that I didn't watch, but that's an important point for Palestine going into that last group game, because if they can beat Hong Kong then and get to 4 points, I don't think they have to worry about their goal difference so much. Although Hong Kong will be under more pressure to do that.
Yeah.
And then UAE, I've not actually watched either of their games. I heard Hong Kong did play well in that first game.
Yeah, for me, oh, sorry.
I don't know whether it's a case where there's more to come from the UAE, although, and whilst Iran have been a bit up and down, if I'm going to pick one, I would probably say Iran, at least to finish first, that is.
Yeah, Iran will probably finish first because they just need a draw. And I'll be honest with you, I don't see UAE beating Iran. And I saw the UAE Hong Kong game. I saw the highlights, and my goodness me, man, Hong Kong were playing well. It's just that they made stupid defensive mistakes. Like those 2 penalties they gave away were really clumsy mistakes, very, very dumb mistakes. And so I think for the UAE, man, they just have to keep the composure, because I feel like for UAE, I just think the Palestine game, it was just the red card. I think the red card completely changed the game. I think if the red card didn't occur, I think UAE probably wins that game. And for Palestine, man, they should have won that game. With the amount of chances they spurned that game, really, really bad. And Iran, man, very, very unconvincing win against Hong Kong. I wasn't impressed. Some players from Iran shouldn't be starting anymore. Like Cheshmi, I don't think should start anymore. Whoever that striker is for Iran, I forgot his name. He can't start anymore. There are certain players from Iran that shouldn't start anymore. And for me, this is my opinion. I think Iran should play a 4-4-2. I think you play Azmoun and Taremi up front. That's what the Iran should be doing, in my opinion. Do you agree with this, Matt?
Maybe. To be honest, I don't know enough in terms of what their best formation would be. Godus would have to be in there.
Yeah, Godus. Yeah. Oh, I know the striker guy. The striker name is Mongolo. Mongolo. Yeah, Mongolo for me. Nah, he can't start. He can't start anymore. That guy's awful. I saw the highlights, man. He was awful. He was
also, Razin, who you scored that second goal against Wales, he hasn't been good this tournament either.
Yeah, and I would check his age is 33. So for Iran, in my opinion, I think this is a team that could go far in the tournament. It's just they have to fix up the player selection. So I just think that they have to fix it up. So yeah, let's read some of your guys' comments. Albuquerque said, big up, man. Big up to you, man. Poi says, yo. Albuquerque says, Madrid high-key cheated without goal. Also, that proves a certain narrative. We're not going to talk about that game on this stream. We'll talk about that another time. And I don't even know if I should discuss about that too much, because that's my channel might get terminated. So I need to be very careful when I address that. So it's a very controversial. Research says, only quality passers should play Cam. Do you agree with this, Mats?
Not necessarily, because I think speed can be a good attribute for that position. So I would say no, but the quality passing is also important to at least to an extent.
Yeah, that's true, I would say. Poi says, see, Palestine got a point. And by the way, please don't bring up politics on the chat. I do not want to discuss politics here, so we're not going to get into that stuff, because that's gonna be controversial, and I don't want to discuss politics on this channel. So this is not the place to discuss that. So, but anyways, so how do you think this group is going to finish out? Because I think Iran, UAE is they're going to go through.
I think it's going to finish in that. I think it's going to finish in that order, and I haven't compared the third place teams, but I think Palestine might have enough.
They have to win.
Yes, they do. But if they win and China don't win, then they certainly chances are they're going to have more points than whoever finishes third in Group A, and then it's just about what are the others. It's not likely Indonesia is going to get a point against Japan, so I'm going to say yes, Palestine do go through.
Yeah, Palestine. And remember, guys, they have never won a game before in the Asian Cup, so this could be their first time. Can they do that? Can they do it, man? And by the way, Palestine only just scored their third goal in ever in Asian Cup history, because I believe they made their debut, and I think the last edition, if I'm not mistaken. You guys can fact check me in the comments, live chat if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's right.
And in the case of Hong Kong, I don't believe they've won on, have they, before?
I don't know that. I don't know that at the top of my head, but I know Palestine never won a game. That's I can tell you that for sure. Oh yeah. Also, what if Hong Kong wins, guys? Oh, sorry.
I mean, that goal difference isn't a good sign, but you could definitely pretty much the same thing is at stake in terms of winning that game between Hong Kong and Palestine.
Yeah. Tell us in the chat, guys, if Hong Kong ever won an Asian Cup game, because I know Palestine never done. I don't know about Hong Kong. I don't know that at the top of my head. I had to do some research. But yeah, it's gonna be difficult for Hong Kong. Let's put it this way, because the goal difference is bad. And let's be real, Matt. I think the Palestine Hong Kong game is gonna be close. I don't think either teams are gonna destroy each other. I think it'll be a close game. Do you agree with that, Matt?
Yes. Before the tournament, I was thinking Palestine could get like a 3-1 win, but given how Hong Kong have played against, especially Iran, but from what I have heard against the UAE as well, it's going to be a close game. They shouldn't be underestimated from Palestine's point of view. But I don't know if having to open up a bit more will if how well that's going to help them at all. So it's going to be close, I think.
Okay, so Barry actually says something. This is Hong Kong never won an Asian Cup game too. Wow. So this is a massive opportunity for both teams there. This is interesting. This is very interesting. Wow. So that's actually interesting, man. That's actually really great to know. Thank you for letting me know, Barry. Palestine making out the group is a massive W for them, especially. That would be really, really good to know, great for them. You know, I don't want to talk about the stuff off the pitch, but it would definitely be great. You know, because it definitely galvanizes the people around. You know, especially a lot of times we watch football to escape the reality, right? And it'll be a great way to make history. You know, because I don't think they've ever advanced from the group stage ever in their history. So, yeah, thanks for letting me know, Barry, for the insight. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next group, shall we, Mats?
Yep.
Group D. Wow. This group is crazy. People said this was the real group of death, and maybe it is actually the real group of death.
No, I don't think
because
so.
I know you were pretty doubtful. I know you were pretty doubtful at the beginning, but I think it lived up to it, man.
I do think the top two are still fairly clear of the two Southeast Asian teams, so I don't think it's a group of death.
Okay, I mean, let's put it this way: like, we had some surprises. It didn't go as predicted exactly.
Of course.
Yeah. So, yeah, man. I want to ask you this question, Mats. Do you think Japan underestimated Iraq? That's my first question.
Well, only the players and Morias will know that for sure. So, in honesty, I don't know. But Iraq certainly were excellent defensively, which went a long way into winning that game. And whilst I don't really have anything against Iraq, and whilst I was more neutral in that first game between Japan and Vietnam, I'm not as happy for Iraq because I did want Japan to win that game. But Iraq got what they deserved. They were clinical with their 2 goals and defended very well. And of course that other result has gone their way, so they're going to own to top the group. But that result can definitely make them feel that they can beat anyone and potentially go very far into the tournament. I think Japan, their next game, it's going to be straightforward for them to get back on track. But I certainly at least a sign that Iraq game was a sign that they can do much better than they have. And it's worth a review of themselves. And for the Vietnam versus Indonesia game, Vietnam, I thought they would do better because they had some moments against Japan, and the fact that they lost was more of a sign on Japan's great quality. But in this game, Indonesia, they were the better team, and even their end, I don't think they were amazing. But Vietnam were underwhelming, and of course, the story of that game was there's 2. The less significant one was Fogden being shown on the cameras, but the more significant one was the meltdown of Maxwell.
Maxwell, man. I hope he's not watching this. I don't think he watches my channel, so I don't think we have to worry. But yeah, I mean, I feel bad for Vietnam. Honestly, do you think that Japan game for Vietnam was kind of papers with cracks? Because those goals that Vietnam scored were like really bad. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, they were from set pieces, right?
Well, at least one of them was, and one of the goals was scored on a rebound. I don't really remember the first goal that well. I think certainly Japan found it easier to score against Vietnam compared to Iraq. I think there were some moments of Japan being exposed in areas that could be exploited. I don't necessarily think that it was. I don't think it was papering over the cracks, but I can sort of see where you're coming from.
Yeah, and also, by the way, Moriyasu, man, this is a public message to you. 2 things you have to do. First of all, you got to drop Suzaki. That goalkeeper is awful. I'm sorry, that Japan goalkeeper is bad. I think that guy should be benched because you cannot start in the knockout stage. I'm sorry. I don't know. Maybe I'm overreacting here. Maybe Mats might disagree with me, but what do you think, Mats? Do you think that Japan goalkeeper Suzaki is very suspect?
I can see what you're saying. He hasn't particularly impressed me either. I'm not really going to call for him to start or be dropped because I'm not sure what the situation is in terms of their best keepers. But I suppose whoever starts against Indonesia is probably the right option, because if he keeps his spot, then it's a sign that either the other goalkeepers aren't good enough or Moriyasu doesn't trust them.
Yeah, another thing, Moriyasu, you need to start at natural striker. You can't start Asano at striker. You need to start Uada. Uada is a proven striker. He's a good striker. He's been doing well for Feyenoord this season. Asano is not a striker. He's a winger. I don't know what Moraes is doing. Maybe he has this idea. Oh, there's also another thing I want to say with this. Japan, you can't make comebacks in every single game. Is that what I think? Maybe they were trying to do that. Okay, we'll go into second gear. We'll try to make a comeback in every game. It's not. It's just not. It's just you're gonna run out. You're gonna. It's tire out. It's not sustainable. Do you agree, Matt?
I doubt that because they were actually battering teams going into this tournament. So I don't see why they would want to go behind just to earn it around.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to. I mean, remember the World Cup? They did that. Remember?
I mean, it's a bit different because I think they were still going up in their levels, and they were, of course, were up against
higher quality teams.
They were up against some big names. So, but so the dynamic was different, and also conceding against like Spain and Germany, they were obviously in a position where they have to be more on the front foot than when they started, but still, I think they should be beating Indonesia. But
they should.
There's stuff to address, and maybe they should start Ritsu Doan as well, the player I predicted to be top scorer, and yet he's been a sub in both games.
Well, I thought Ritsu Doan started against Japan. No, Asano started. Sorry, my bad. Asano started at striker. Yeah, my bad. Thank you. Yeah. I do think Uwada should start. Ayasu Udad, because for me, he's the only striker they really have on the squad. I'm pretty sure. Then recognized striker, true number 9 that I know of at least.
Yeah, it would be worth making changes in the attacking area, and it also gives a chance for these players to take the spots and just see how good the competition is. Some changes can be made at the same time about playing the players they think are best. In a way, this could be a fresh start. Actually, maybe not, but it's definitely a game that they can go for the win and then let the rest of the tournament click into gear.
Yeah.
It's possible that the loss to Iraq is making the situation look worse than it actually is, especially who Japan could potentially be playing in the knockouts. But I imagine they'll at least go in the right direction.
Yeah, maybe you're right, Matt. Maybe they need this loss because obviously you're obviously rather lose in the group stage than knockout stage. I think that's obvious. And and it seems
I don't think they needed the loss. It's just more of a situation where they're not in an ideal position, but it's not as bad as some people are saying it is.
No. But the thing is, hear me out, Matt. Because for me, I feel like Japan came into this tournament saying that, okay, you know what? We'll play in our second gear and we'll be able to stroll through, steamroll this tournament, right? But then we have seen now that Asia is competitive. It's not as straightforward. And believe it or not, guys, I think the last time they lost to an Asian opponent was in 2019. They haven't lost to an Asian opponent since then. So I think Japan needs to, because for me, I think in that game when because I saw the highlights, obviously it was way too early. I couldn't watch the game, but it felt like for me, Japan were kind of arrogant. They were kind of were thinking, okay, Iraq, okay, we could probably turn up and get better as the game go on. But you could see that Iraq were up for it from the very beginning. We're not here to play around. Like Japan, we're not here to we're here to take the game to you. And I think Japan didn't expect that. I don't think Japan expected Iraq to take the game to them that quickly, Yeah. So I just think that for Japan, they have to be more. They have to now. They can't come into this tournament anymore and be arrogant. You have to actually, show up on the day. But yeah,
I'm not sure of the dates, but I believe that. But I do remember 2 teams Japan lost to which I think that would have been in 2020 or 2021. They did lose to Oman and Saudi Arabia in the World Cup qualifiers.
Oh yeah, my bad. This is the first time they've lost in the Japan. Well, yeah, I guess you're right. Actually, yeah, I think you're right. Actually, no, take my word. But the point I'm trying to make is they haven't lost to an Asian team in a while. It's like the first time in a while. Yeah. All right, let's read some of guys'
And
comments.
I'm not sure why they don't bring this. I'm not sure why they would drop their intensity compared to the friendlies when they were balling out. You'd have thought it would be the other way around.
Yeah, like the thing is, like, I don't know. Do you think Japan dropped their intensity in the Asian Cup? Because I feel like they kind of have.
Well, the games leading up to it suggest so.
Yeah. Boy says Paul from Japan. Uriah says Iraq are a very good team and could definitely make a deep run. Yeah, people are really disrespectful to Iraq, saying that's a huge upset and everything. Dude, it's an upset, but it's not like a huge upset. Like, because Iraq have heritage in Asia, guys. Iraq have won the Asian Cup before, 2007. And how many Asian Cups have they won? Is it one or two? I think it's two.
It's just right? One.
Oh, it's just one. Yeah, Japan have won 4 times. So Iraq is a team that is a very solid. They're a tournament team. I think people don't realize this, is that Iraq don't really do great in the qualifiers, but when it comes to tournaments, they do very well. They go pretty far in the tournaments. So do you agree with that, Matt?
Japan was still more than capable of winning. Iraq was certainly Iraq certainly stood out as the second best team in the group. And I say medium level upset because it was a surprise, but Japan could have lost to worse teams.
Yeah, exactly, man. In Iraq, man. Shout out to Hussein, man. That striker, man. I got an Iraq friend on my server, and he's still in disbelief. Like, it was still incredible.
Is it Kubo? Or is he?
Yeah. Yeah, Kubo.
What was he?
Yeah.
Okay.
And did you guys see the Iraq players at full time? They were crying. They were crying so much, and they were like just in disbelief. It was just unbelievable.
The fans as well, and there's. I even saw on Fogden's vlog, one of them had even owned the ad for a video chat just so that the moment could be shared.
Yeah, like it was incredible, man. Vietnam, Indonesia. I think we kind of discussed about this game, but not really that. I didn't really give my thoughts. I thought Indonesia for me defensively were solid. Vietnam for me, I thought were very, very poor on the day. Didn't really have any attacking qualities. Really show up. They had some good chances the second half, to be fair, but first half was so bad. And for Indonesia, man, this is a massive win in the derby. I wouldn't really say it's a big upset, but I mean the FIFA rankings it's a big upset, but I wouldn't really say it's a big upset in general. But yeah, man, for Indonesia, man, shout out to that guy. I forgot who's that youngster for Indonesia. I keep forgetting his name. Maybe you can tell me. I forgot his name for some reason. He's really been good. I forgot his name. Let me check again. Sorry,
doesn't really come to mind.
I want to shout him out.
I think I've pretty much said my thoughts on that game. So Vietnam, I thought they were going to win, but they ended up turning into Vietnam. So 1 letter difference. And I'll also say, following that result, I'll say Mac L.
Yeah, and Marcelino. Marcelino's that guy. Marcelino, what a talented player that guy is.
Him.
He's only 19 years old, guys. 19. This guy can make this guy could be the next big thing. I really hope he gets a Europe move because this guy could be a baller. Because I feel like I want to see some more Asian players play in Europe. I feel like we need to see more of that, man. You know, and it would be nice to see. It's a baller, man. So shout out to Indonesia, man.
One player I do know of Indonesia who has played well, definitely in this game against Vietnam. Spanish defender Jordi Amat, who used to play for Swansea.
Oh yeah, I think if I remember correctly, I think Indonesia. There's a player in the Indonesia that plays for Wolves. I forgot his name. Can you guys let me know in the chat? I completely forgot his name. I forgot his name.
I don't know, but I know who you're referring to, but I'm not sure on the name.
Yeah, I because I was actually looking at the squad stuff. And leading up to the tournament, I was like, they got to play in the Premier League. I did not know this. Maybe you guys can let me know in the chat.
I bet Albert has some good things to say about Mackwell.
Yeah. All right. Let's read some comments. Albert says, "Poor Vietnam." Maxwell is crying his blank off right now. Yeah, Maxwell is crying. Poor Maxwell. Brandon Blanco says, "Salute 80." Thank you, Brandon Blanco, for joining. Albert Carter said, "Doan is going to turn him into 87 rated player." Yeah, guys. When I was talking about the striker thing, Asano can't strike. He can't start the striker. Doan maybe can. But I think you should start Ueda. I think Ueda is better than Doan when it comes to striker. I think Doan's better on the right wing.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily put Doan in striker, but I'd put him in the 11 somewhere.
Yeah, right wing. Who has been the bigger disappointment? Mine is either Vietnam or Kyrgyzstan.
I'll definitely.
Oh, sorry.
Well, I'll just answer out of the two that's been mentioned. It's definitely Vietnam.
I would say Kyrgyzstan, in my opinion, because remember, Vietnam came to this tournament with a depleted team, and a lot of players were injured, and they didn't get destroyed destroyed. Kyrgyzstan, man, they haven't done any. They've been awful, man. I've not been impressed with.
But I would also say Vietnam were in a better contention to get to the knockouts than Kyrgyzstan.
I don't know. Kyrgyzstan were pretty favored. At least I picked them to qualify. I think I also picked Vietnam as well, but I think more. It's difficult though, Mats. But I'd say Kyrgyzstan been worse because they haven't scored a single goal.
Did we even expect them to finish above Thailand though?
I mean, I think I did. Because Thailand's preparation leading up to the Asian Cup was terrible.
Certainly subjective on that one.
Yeah, it's a difficult one. You could, I think, you could also. I would also put India as well in the biggest disappointments. I would also throw in India as well. They've been.
I'm sure we'll get more to that later.
Brandon Buckle says, "I think Japan will wake up after that loss. They better, man."
Yeah.
Brandon Blanco said, "Iraq are tournament merchants. They don't do well in qualifiers." Does Iqbal play for Iraq? The United? Oh yeah, Zidane Iqbal didn't. He didn't even play against Japan. So that's incredible. They even still did know what that is Zidane Iqbal, which is incredible. He's probably like the most famous Iraq player that people probably recognize from like non-Iraqis, I would say. Adika had Kyrgyzstan above the island. Fair enough. So what do you think? So Mats, what do you think? Do you think Indonesia can? I think Iraq and Japan. I don't think Indonesia.
It's going to stay like this.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't imagine how Indonesia are able to finish above Japan.
They would have to beat Japan, right?
Yes.
Okay, Mats, what if this crazy scenario happens? Indonesia beats Japan, and Japan goes through as one of the third place teams. That would be crazy.
Japan are going to get clowned if that happens, but I don't think it will.
No. I'm just saying, Mats. Like, imagine the scenario. Oh man, that would be crazy. And would Japan even make it through in third place then? In that case, like, actually, yeah, they actually, yeah. I mean, I think they should. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Moving on to Group E, man. Jordan, man. I think this is a team that I really disrespected. I need to apologize right now for all my Jordan fans out there. I'm very sorry for putting you guys last place. I want to sincerely apologize, and I want to take this and say I'll never do that again. I am very sorry. I should have put Malaysia last. But I don't know. I just had to. I don't know. But something just told me we're gonna have an upset, and I had a feeling it might have been this group. But I guess I got the wrong thing. I don't know. Matt, are you surprised Jordan have done this well?
I had them going in the top two, but I didn't expect them to do this well, or even get a result against South Korea. I took them South Korea until the end to actually rescue themselves. Jordan have been excellent, and shout out to Bristol Rovers owner where Il Alcardi. I would have congratulated him had they'd beaten South Korea, but they definitely earned that result. And of course, winning against, on paper, their easiest opponent by that margin is a great start. I would still imagine South Korea will top the group, but I think Jordan should have enough to get second. They had a very similar performance to what Iraq did to Japan. If they are to finish second and play Saudi Arabia like I've predicted, it could definitely be a tight. It potentially will be a tight game. So, and Bahrain, they've been okay, but they don't strike me as a team that's going to pull off a win against Jordan.
Yeah, I've not been impressed with this one. And Malaysia, for me, they have been good, but I think that opening day loss to Jordan just destroyed all the hopes they had, because they put up a good performance against Bahrain, but it's just that manner in which they could see the last minute goal. I was so sad for them. I felt disappointed for them, man. I felt really disappointed. And Malaysia, man, they're I was hoping that, because I knew this team would come into this tournament with they would score a lot of goals and also concede a lot of goals. Unfortunately, I think they're one of the few teams that haven't scored in the Asian Cup yet. So
along with the Group A teams
and Group B, and Kyrgyzstan.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I think for Malaysia, man, very disappointed. But remember, we got to keep in mind, guys, this is the first time they made an Asian Cup in a long time. So we got to keep that in context, that they haven't really been in this. They haven't really been in this position for a long time. So I think for
they're
this
not
one,
in 2019.
I don't think they were. Hold on, let me check. Guys, because I don't think they were in the Asian Cup for a long time. I don't know. Maybe I had to double check. Hold up. Let me just check. All right, Matt, what you talk while I look at that? Talk about South Korea, man, in this group.
They haven't been the dominant team that I think most of us were expecting. Bahrain did all right against them. South Korea, I think, had a respectable performance. Against Jordan, I think after they went in front, I feel like it was a case of they didn't manage the game properly, and Klinsmann didn't get his tactics right. There's definitely potential to go far. It's just about putting it together. Given how Malaysia played against Jordan, I think South Korea certainly should be able to even potentially top that group, given how things are going. I wouldn't worry against Malaysia, given the quality players they've had and the fact that Malaysia they lost. They conceded 4 to Jordan.
Yeah. Now, what's really interesting, Matt, because believe it or not, Jordan can still top this group.
Yes,
it depends. So what if we have this scenario, Matt? I'm really hoping this happens, guys, because I don't want South Korea and Japan in the round of 16. I don't want that to happen. So I need Jordan to destroy Bahrain. If Jordan can do it, then it doesn't matter what South Korea
They just need to match South Korea's win.
Oh, yeah, that's true. But the thing is, like, how many is Jordan? The thing is, do Jordan beat Bahrain, though? That's the thing.
They are. I think they will. But the main thing to say is Jordan's definitely capable of beating Bahrain.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Bahrain have got a point to prove. But I suppose only 1-0 against Malaysia wasn't a great sign, even though I had them winning 2-0.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. So,
I think for those who are optimistic about Bahrain, you could definitely say that Bahrain are a sleeping giant that could come out with a big result. But I think Jordan and South Korea are in the best position to get into that knockouts.
yeah, that's definitely true. It's gonna be interesting. So we'll see what happens. I personally, believe it or not, guys, I actually have Jordan to top of this group, and I got South Korea to come to second place. I think the group is going to stay as it is. So that'll be crazy, man. And yeah, Jordan been amazing, man. Taremi and Mardi been amazing.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, if Jordan win the group, then the only two, I believe this is correct. I can't think of another country beginning with this letter, but if we get Jordan versus Japan in the knockouts, then it'll get the only two countries of that starting letter playing against each other.
Wait, so I got a question, Matt. So if Jordan and Iraq top the group, well, Iraq's already top, but if Jordan tops the group, when can South Korea and Japan play against each other? Would that still be in the final, or would they have to play against each other eventually later on the same bracket?
I would imagine South Korea and Jordan would be on the opposite side of the brackets.
Well, actually, wait. So is Japan and South Korea on the same side of the bracket? That's the thing. If they both finish second place.
Yes, if both finish second place, then yes. Wait, no. I thought you were talking about if South Korea finished first, but if it's second, I'm pretty sure. I'm sure enough that whoever's first place should be on the other side to second place.
Okay, let me. We'll look at the knockouts real quick after the group stage. But yeah, for me, man, I think it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. But yeah, let's read some of your guys' comments. The Malaysia loss over Jordan was a common skill. I hope they get better. I agree. Brandon Bunker says Asian teams aren't doing well, apart from Thailand, Indonesia. Asians is it? Does he mean like Southeast Asian nations? I think he means that, right?
Yes. Yeah, I think that's an abbreviation for that region.
Okay. They were not in 2019. Last time Malaysia was in 2007. Yeah, they haven't been in a while. So like, it's been like 17 years. So it's been a long time. Yeah, I just checked. They weren't there in the 2019 edition. Research says Malaysia have a lot of potential, but this tournament just wasn't it. Yeah, I think people are getting too excited, man. I think people are getting too hyped, and I kind of fall in that trap. Unfortunately, I should have just went my sensible predictions, but I can't go always with this. I can't go with you can't always go with the boring predictions. You have to make some fun predictions. Put some shocks because there's no tournament that goes everything according to plan. Like there's gonna be some shocks, right, Matt?
Yeah.
Brandon Blanco says, "You think Al Taremi is good enough for a mid Premier League team like Crystal Palace or Brentford?" Actually, how old is he? I need to check this.
I haven't seen him enough to make that judgment.
Let's see. He's at Montpellier, and he's currently 26 years old. Yeah, maybe he can make the Premier League move. The thing is, like, maybe Palace. I don't think Brentford really needs him. I think Brentford are good, but I think Palace might need him because Palace. I heard a lot of frustration with Palace yesterday after their game against Arsenal, so maybe they do need him. But it kind of depends though, because I think Elise is there. Elise has been really good, so we'll see if maybe they could get him as a replacement if Elise leaves. So, but yeah, man, this is very, very interesting. All right, moving on to the final group we got here is Saudi Arabia, Thailand, Oman, Kyrgyzstan. Kyrgyzstan, I've been very disappointed. I expected so much more from Kyrgyzstan. That first game against Thailand loss was terrible. And then the loss against Saudi was so bad, man. They went down at 9 men. 2 red cards the same game. Very stupid red cards. And the goalkeeper even made 2 errors. I don't know what to say, man, with Kyrgyzstan. Very, very disappointing.
I'm not Certainly, from a result point of view, I'm not surprised with how Kyrgyzstan did. Saudi Arabia, I didn't see a lot of their game because I was mostly focusing on Zambia versus Tanzania, but I did see periods of the game, including the first goal, and I did see a replay of the second goal, and yes, a big mistake from the Kyrgyzstan keeper. Saudi Arabia, from what I saw, they did better attacking wise, although on paper Oman generally have a better defense than Kyrgyzstan. It looked like Saudi, you could I could see a progressive sign for them to get better in the tournament. So yeah, I thought they did. From what I saw, they did pretty well, but could have scored more. The big surprise for me was Oman not beating Thailand, especially from how well we saw them play against Saudi Arabia, and then to come up against Thailand, which I felt like the top two sides were in a fairly safe position to. Well, I thought that the two Arab teams were in a fairly safe position to get top two. But yeah, at Thailand, come away with that draw and not have conceded a single goal. By the time they play Saudi Arabia, so that was my biggest shock of this group. I imagine Oman will beat Kyrgyzstan on that last day.
They better, man. They better. That's all I'm going to say. Very, very, yeah. I mean, just to reiterate, I'm very surprised with Thailand. I believe they're the only Part 4 team that have actually advanced. I believe. Well,
and they're guaranteed a top 3 spot.
Yeah. So that's incredible. So shout out to Thailand because their preparation leading up to tournament was terrible. As for Saudi Arabia, I'm very disappointed with them. I expected more from them, even though they have been getting the results. I feel like this team has been. I feel like this group has just been so mediocre in the sense that I feel like it's kind of with Qatar that I feel like they haven't really. They've kind of just got the wins because the quality isn't. I don't know. I just feel like I've not been convinced with Saudi. Just been scraping by. It seems. And then as for Oman, very disappointed with them. I thought they would build upon that amazing start they had against Saudi, and they didn't. Which is
I had them winning 3-0.
Yeah, I think I had this game to end 1-0 to Oman. So, anyways, let's go look at the ranking of the best third place team. So, obviously, this is subject to change. So, we have Bahrain in third place. They're probably going to finish third. Indonesia, Oman, Syria, Tajikistan, Palestine. I think this third place thing is going to stay as it is. It's just a matter of how the points is going to tally up. I think like all the third place teams here are going to probably stay as it is. Do you agree? These will be 6 third place teams.
Tajikistan.
Actually, it might be China.
Get second because China have to face Qatar.
Yeah.
But the others, actually, I think Oman will find a way to beat Thailand on goal difference. But the other 4, I would say that they'll be the same.
Yeah, so here's the knockout stage, guys. Obviously, it's kind of difficult to preview this because we don't have all the matches, but this is like a quick idea. So let's just check the real thing. So runner-up of Group D, runner-up of Group E. So, they can face each other in final. So so basically, let's go. So we need Jordan to top the group, basically. We need Jordan to basically top the group. Okay. So I just wanted to read that. Research says Kyrgyzstan were just trying to kill Saudi players.
I personally rather see South Korea and Japan face at a later stage in the tournament.
Yeah, I don't want us to see in the round of 16. I want to see in the final, man.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's the best final you can get. I don't think there's any other final that would surpass it. So, but yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. So We're all Jordan, I suppose. Come on, Jordan. Okay. So I think yeah, Kyrgyzstan, we're trying to kill Saudi players. Yeah, I read that comment. Okay, so I think we're gonna move on to the 8 Afcon. We kind of spent a little too much time on this one, but that's fine. Remember, guys, I did anticipate we are gonna do it 2 hours because we're doing both Afcon and Asian Cup because both Afcon and Asian Cup into the same day. So, but for the Afcon, we'll probably not spend as much. Actually, I don't know. We might spend a little longer. So, Afcon, here we go. Why is it 2022 showing up here? Oh, it's 2024. Okay. Wait, what?
I think you. Oh, you're on the wrong tournament.
Oh.
Um.
Oh, there's the African Nations Championship.
Yeah, that's the equivalent to the Arab Cup.
Okay.
Where they just use domestic players. Well, domestic to African players, but anyway.
Yeah, so Group A, man. Wow. Did not see Nigeria beating Ivory Coast. Did not see that coming.
Neither did I. I would definitely... And it wasn't just a win we didn't expect to see coming. Hang on. See, my screen's still loading.
Yeah.
But I would also say that one of the impressive parts was that they managed to win, having also survived a bad miss from Osimhen, who had a one-on-one that he put over the bar. Important win because they go into that Guinea-Bissau game where a draw takes them through, and a win would potentially put them into first place. And Ivory Coast, we can see the effects of not having Sebastian Haller there. They're not as much of a goal threat without him. But I expect a close game between Equatorial Guinea and Ivory Coast.
Yeah.
I guess in the case, they just need to be more clinical in order to improve in the tournament. And Guinea-Bissau, well, they could have got a draw, but they were making too many individual errors against Equatorial Guinea.
And shout out to Nisso, yeah, man. He is the Nisso. I'll pronounce it. Is it Nisso? I don't know how to pronounce. I think it's Nisso, right?
I don't really know the player well, so I don't know.
Okay. Well, anyways, he scored the first hat trick in the Afcon since 2008. That is absolutely insane. Do you agree, Matt?
True, yeah.
Yeah. So likes of like Drogba, Salah haven't even done this in recent years, in the recent Afcons. That's incredible. But yeah, I mean, Guinea-Bissau, man, defensively they were trash. I think that's the big takeaway from this, is that they weren't that bad going forward, but defensively they were abysmal, simply abysmal. I was really disappointed with them because I thought they could be one of the best third place teams. Because I think me and you, Matt, we had them as one of our. I had them to be. Oh yeah.
I actually had them second. Place.
Yeah, I put them third at least, so I didn't put them seconds. But
but because I think this is the group of death, the fact they finished bottom isn't too surprising, and in terms of being good in attack and poor defensively, it was actually the opposite in the first game against Ivory Coast.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. But even still, I think one of their center backs made an error for the goal in the Ivory Coast game, if I remember correctly. I forgot which center back it was, but yeah. I mean, yeah. And then for Nigeria, man, I don't know. I'm not really convinced with Nigeria, but they just seemingly know how to get it done, I suppose. But yeah, I'm gonna say this right now, man. Victor Osimhen, I know he's been good for Nigeria so far in the Afcon, but he needs to do better, man. He needs to do better. If you're like, especially when it comes to shooting. And Equatorial Guinea, man, this is a good team, man. Equatorial Guinea is a stubborn team. They just always know how to get it done, man. Like I said, like as Michael put it out there, they're like the Burnley of Africa.
And speaking of other YouTubers, I'll quote Strasbourg's Steve or Steve Machala, depending on how you want to refer to him as, and use his observation on Nigeria that it's a good team that's not being coached well.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like in Nigeria, like this team is talented, it's just
or even coached.
Yeah, this team isn't like I mean, that Pesero guy is an awful coach. I'm sorry, this coach is abysmal when it comes to tactics and stuff like that. So for Nigeria, man, they have a good team, but the coach is a big setback. So how do you think this group is going to finish out, Mats? Because this is a very interesting. Because this group can get very, very interesting. There's a potential possibility where Ivory Coast don't even make it through. Which would be embarrassing. Let me just say this right now. If Ivory Coast go on the group stage, I might have to travel to Ivory Coast and do some crazy stuff. I'm joking around, but
I think the unsure part is about what happens between second and third. Given that Guinea-Bissau can't actually get through, you'd imagine Nigeria will probably take that first spot. But then again, they themselves can be unpredictable. So if they throw the game away against Guinea-Bissau, we can't be surprised at this point. But I think they should still have enough to go through and probably even finish first. It's about that, and it's about that game between Equatorial Guinea and Ivory Coast on who gets that other spot. It's a tight one, an unpredictable one that could go either way. I'd lean more towards Ivory Coast, but it wouldn't surprise me if Equatorial Guinea get through.
Yeah, I don't think Equatorial Guinea can win, but I think they could draw, and draw is actually more favorable. Yeah. Now, what if they actually win? That would be crazy. They actually top this group. That would be insane. That would be flipping insane if they actually top this group. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Matt. I think it'll be Nigeria, Ivory Coast, and Equatorial Guinea. I think it's gonna be that order, and I'm pretty sure all three are guaranteed to advance, right? Well, Equatorial Guinea is a guaranteed advance, right?
No, it says there that it's guaranteed at least top 3.
Yeah,
but you'd imagine at least Nigeria and Equatorial Guinea on 4 points should be enough to see them through.
Yeah. Let me read some of your guys' comments. Riri says, Ivory Coast haven't impressed. I mean, that opening day win was nice. Like, Fofana was a great goal, but I kind of do see what Riri is trying to say, but I don't think Ivory Coast has been that bad. I think that's a bit harsh. So, I mean, what do you think, Matt? Is this a harsh criticism, or do you agree with this take?
I don't think they've been their best.
Yeah, I think that's agreeable.
It's possible that some people might have built them up to be bigger than what they are, but there's probably more to come from Ivory Coast, and they are missing Sebastian Halau. He was actually meant to come back for the Nigeria game, so he might be back for Equatorial Guinea, which if he is, they'll certainly be in a better state with him up front. It's been an okay start for Ivory Coast.
Yeah, by the way, let me just say this right now. Pepe is terrible. That Pepe guy's awful. That guy shouldn't start for Ivory Coast. That guy shouldn't come on. That guy's awful.
It didn't even occur to me that he was in the at the tournament until he got subbed on against Guinea-Bissau.
Bro, why was he even in the roster? That was my question. Okay. Brandon Blanco says, "Why is Guinea-Bissau eliminated? Is it because I had to head? Yeah, because I had to head to head. That's why. I wonder how common braces are in Afcon. Of course, in Nigeria. Riri says, Serge Aurier needs to start and play a full 90 minutes and be the captain. Oh, yeah. I forgot about Serge Aurier.
Formerly of PSG and Tottenham.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Serge Aurier is a good player. I think he's an important player. Maybe he could give that leadership qualities that Ivory Coast need. I'm not going to say Nicholas. He is not an Arsenal legend. Okay. But yeah, this group is going to get interesting, man. Because there's a chance, guys, believe it or not, Ivory Coast can get grouped. And if that happens, I think we're going to have a very uncomfortable conversations if that happens. That'll be embarrassing.
I think that's become a catchphrase of yours.
Uncomfortable conversations, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but let me ask you this, Master. Do you think it'll be embarrassing if Ivory Coast gets grouped?
Yes.
I fully agree. All right, moving on to Group B. Wow. Cape Verde, man. This team is unbelievable. I did not see this coming. I knew they would advance, but did I not think they would advance as one of the top of the group? I did not have that I did not put that in my predictions.
I didn't even think they'd get more than 3 points.
Wow.
But I didn't see the game because I was more focused on what I think it must have been. Whoever was playing at the same time in the Asian Cup, I was more focused on that game.
Oh, I think it was a Vietnam game. I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But beating Mozambique was huge, even if they didn't need to finish in the top 2, because that was, I mean, didn't so much need to be a must-win, but going into the tournament, that was a must-win game, and they won 3-0, which was impressive, and they go top of the table.
Yeah, and they also beat Ghana as well with the last-minute winner.
Yes.
Crazy. Yeah, shout out to Monteiro, man. A very underrated player, man. And shout out to Bebe and Montenegro. These guys came up clutch for them.
And Bebe was a Man United flop too.
Yeah, and oh my God, Mozambique, man. Speaking of Mozambique, that goalkeeper for that goal, Bebe goal, should have done better, man. He literally palmed it straight in the net. Yeah, it was crazy, man. Talking about Mozambique, man. I feel like they were good. Oh, sorry. What were you saying?
When it comes, I'm sure we'll speak more about that last game when it comes to talking about Ghana. But given that how both teams have performed in this case, Mozambique, who had that good start apart from the penalty against Egypt, it's going to be an unpredictable game. I haven't seen a lot of Mozambique, but I'm guessing anything could happen in that last game with them.
Yeah, I feel like that Egypt thing. Like, I feel like Egypt were in second gear, like for the second half against Mozambique. I think Egypt kind of dropped off, and Mozambique took advantage of that. So my thing for Egypt is that they have to be in full gear against what is it called, Cape Verde, and Egypt have to win that game because anything but a win.
And if Egypt didn't have that penalty, it would be like Argentina versus Saudi Arabia.
Oh, I just realized, Mats, we could have had a scenario where it could have been 6-3, 1, and then 1. Like Egypt, Ghana are both third and fourth respectively. That would have been crazy. But for Egypt, man, what do you think is gone? Do you think they have been bad in the Afcon so far? Or do you think what do you think has been wrong with Egypt?
Well, the first game, I didn't see all of it, but certainly a sign of them not capitalizing on the momentum they had in the first half. in the second game, I do think it was a matter of Mohamed Kudus being the difference maker for Ghana. Had he not been playing, Egypt probably would have won. But at the same time, they weren't convincing in the attack in the first half.
Yeah, the thing is, like, those goals that Egypt scored, it was pretty much Ghana individual mistakes. Them giving the ball away in bad areas of the pitch. So who knows if Egypt would have got a result from that game. So at this errors going to take place. So, but yeah, my thing is that I think Riri Sage makes a great point here. Egypt are so shaky at the back. Yeah, defensively, I've not been convinced. Defensively, they look really, really suspect. So, but the thing is, like, I don't know. I still think Egypt's going to make it through because Cape Verde, I think, will play their B team. And surely, I know Salah's not going to be there, but surely Egypt can beat Cape Verde with their B team.
Yeah. I mean, even if it's an A team of Cape Verde, Egypt would still be expected to win on a normal basis.
Even without Salah?
Yes, though not as convincing.
Yeah. And Ghana, Mozambique, man. Ghana, man. For me, they have been good in this tournament. Kudus has been the only savior, but defensively, they're awful. Defensively, they're so bad. And without Kudus, as I said before my predictions, Ghana would get grouped. So Kudus has to come clutch.
For that, I think it's the first goal that for people were talking about Inaki Williams giving the ball away, but Adoy could have easily intercepted that ball that went over to Mamouche.
Oh yeah, the second goal. Yeah, that was terrible. They were like ball watching. They were just
that's the perfect way to describe Adoy, that he was ball watching when he could have easily.
If I remember correctly, oh sorry,
he could have easily kept at the possession, and who knows what could have happened afterwards.
And remember, I think even against Cape Verde, Ode made the mistake. He made the mistake for the Rodriguez goal, if I remember correctly. He gave away the ball in bad area. So, see, the thing is, this is difficult, man, because both Ghana and Egypt are so bad defensively. Mozambique is kind of bad defensively, too. It's tough to call, man. It's tough to call. But I still think Egypt's going to make it through, and I do think Ghana's going to pull through. I think Ghana's going to pull through, and I think it's actually not going to be Ghana to pull through, but more so Kudus pull through. That. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I think Mozambique is going to be too much.
I know Kudus himself was the big factor of Ghana getting the goals. I wouldn't actually blame El Shanawi for either of the goals because one was an unstoppable hit, and the second goal took a deflection.
Yeah, you can't blame El Shanawi. You can't blame him.
So, I mean, I haven't seen the goals Egypt conceded against Mozambique, but El Shanawi can certainly get a clean sheet against Cape Verde.
Yeah. Imagine Egypt gets grouped. I would feel bad for Football Pharaoh. Dang, that would be really bad. And imagine Salah, man, how he feels. Because I don't know if you guys heard this. Salah apparently is going back to Liverpool for to train to basically do his rehabilitation. What's it called? Rehab, right? Rehabilitation, I think.
Rehabilitation.
Yeah. And apparently, he's going to come back to the Afcon if Egypt makes the final, which is very odd in my opinion. So I'm really not sure how that's going to progress, but
I haven't really heard any of that. The last thing I've heard on Salah is he will be available at earliest the quarterfinals. If they
Fabrizio did confirm it. So, yeah, but we'll see, man. We'll see. But yeah, Research says Egypt so shaking the back. Brandon Black says Ghana's Kudus FC. Without him, they would get grouped. Exactly, I agree with you on this. Honestly, without Kudus, they get grouped. I'm saying this right now. I still don't understand why are the Ayew brothers still part of this national team for Ghana. It's still ridiculous. It doesn't make sense. Like they shouldn't be part of the national team anymore. They should be bent, in my opinion. This should be the last Afcon. Research says Ghana have not been good. They were poor against Mozambique and they weren't good against Egypt, but Kudus saved them. Yeah, I agree. Cape Verde. Yeah. All right. So I think Egypt. So Ghana. If Ghana wins, it'll be enough, right? 4 points, I think, will be enough, right?
Yeah.
Probably. Okay. Moving on to the next one.
And they could. And if Egypt don't win, then that would put Ghana to second.
Yeah. So. Okay, Group C, man.
Well, Senegal have been the best team of the tournament so far.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Group C Senegal have been amazing. Gambia, man, very poor defensively. Not been impressed with Gambia. Defensively, been really bad. They're just not really that good in the attack either. So, I mean, do you agree with me on Gambia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then they're not the same team as they were, and it doesn't help that they were up against one of the best teams, and watch the Guinea-Gambia game, but yeah, sure. Guinea have been okay. Cameroon have been not something like underwhelming, but I'm not too surprised with how they've done. But I think the table kind of speaks for itself.
Yeah, Guinea, they've been amazing. And you got to keep in mind, Guinea don't even have Guirassy. Guirasy's not even played a game for them. A single minute for them. That's impressive, man. That's impressive, Matt. And I saw their game against Cameroon. They were pressing Cameroon. They were amazing against Cameroon. It's just the red card.
Especially in that first half.
And you got to give them credit, Matt. They still got a result against Cameroon, even down a man.
Yeah. I had them beating Cameroon.
Yeah, same here. You know, and for Cameroon, man.
But that draw is working out for them so far.
And for Cameroon, man, this team is I'm trying to think of the best word to describe this. Hollywood. Hollywood is the right word, I think I'll say.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? I got a better word. Drama. Drama FC. There is so much drama with Cameroon. Off the pitch, on the pitch. Onana making these stupid comments that, I care about my national team first and stuff. Okay, if you did care about your national team, how come you came to Afcon late? Huh? And the thing is, Onana was reacting so late to those goals. He was reacting so late to those goals. I don't know if you watched the Senegal-Cameroon game. He was reacting so late.
Oh, yeah.
Just so bad.
I can see what you mean.
And the thing is, like, if I'm Rigobert's song, I would bench Onana. I think Onana needs to get benched. He has a mentality. He's so arrogant like Manuel Neuer. But at least with Neuer, he at least backs it up. We know Neuer's an amazing guy. Right? He's an amazing keeper. But the thing is, like, Onana's trying to play like he has the mentality. He has the
Courtois as well, but even though I think
Courtois.
He's currently the best goalkeeper.
No, but I'm talking about the arrogance level. Like, Courtois But when you're arrogant, you at least have to show you. At least you have to be decent. You can't be arrogant if you're bad. Right, Matt?
Yeah.
So, and my thing is, why did you come to Afcon so late? I just think that Onana, for me, he was thinking about Man United. He was thinking, okay, what if Bayern does so well without me in my presence? Then I won't be able to start Man United anymore. And, it's difficult for goalkeepers to start, especially when they're benched for that period of time. So, Onana, man, has just been a terrible. This guy has been so stupid. And honestly, Cameroon shouldn't start in the next game. I'm going to say this right now. Another issue for Cameroon. Sorry. What are you saying?
If the only concern there might be if they do bench Onana is that it would be a sign of them rotating goalkeepers, which I don't think does the team much good, especially the defense.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Oh yeah. Speaking of which, obviously we roast Onana a lot. The defense for Cameroon is also as bad because I think it was the second goal. They were literally ball watching. Nobody was marking the guy whatsoever making that run. They literally stood there and just watched. And I think the third goal as well. Like, I don't know what's up, man. Cameron, you got to do better defensively.
Yeah, they were very slow.
Yeah, like, it's just so stupid. And then obviously Vincent Abelcourt is not there. And by the way, guys, I just checked in the last AFCON. Vincent Abelcourt scored so many goals for Cameroon. He scored, I think 90% of the goals last AFCON. You can see this team really struggle without him. I also saw in the last AFCON that Onana made several mistakes.
I think they could, even without Abubakar, I think they could do better with another manager.
Yeah. Cameron's just mismanaged. They're just awful. And I'm going to say this right now. I'll put my neck on the line. I don't think Cameron's beating Gambia. I think it's going to be a draw.
Ooh, wow.
I've not been convinced. And even if Cameroon do win, actually, let me think. Cameroon do. Yeah, actually, Cameroon could. Yeah, if Cameroon do win, they're in a good position, I think. But the goal difference, man, I'm not sure. Well, actually, I think they'll be fine. But yeah, you know what? I'm gonna say it's gonna be a draw. I think Cameroon Gambia is gonna be a draw, as my personal prediction. So, yeah. What do you think, Matt? Do you think Senegal and Guinea will come through top 2 respectively?
I think they will.
Yeah. And then do you have Cameroon going through or not?
I at least have them winning, and I think I'm saying something on the lines of 1-0, 2-0, 3-1, something like that. But I'd have to remember who are the other third place teams for me to say whether Cameroon would have enough.
Yeah, definitely, man, definitely. All right, let's read some of you guys' comments. Jamaica, Gambia are good bad defensively, offensively. What does this team offer? Yeah, I mean they're just bad at everywhere, to be honest. Rory says Guinea were really good against Gambia. Could have easily been 3-0 and salvaged a draw versus Gambia with the red card. Boy says I've seen the third Senegal goal. Oh yeah, that was a terrible. Dude, did you see Mane's shot? It was so tame. It was so tame. I don't know how Onana just saved that one. Alcor says, is Onana just a Cameroon Carius?
That would be a good question to put to Michael.
Let's see. Is Onana just a Cameroon Carius? I don't think Michael wants to answer this question. Let me just say this right now, Albert. I prefer not to speak. If I speak, I'm in big trouble. Let me just put it this way. How do Onana say the starting on his goal? Onana has become a meme for the wrong reasons. Oh man, dude, there's so much memes on Onana, man, on the internet.
Oh no.
Okay. Cameroon will beat Gambia. Gambia are good offensively, nor they are defensively. Cameroon is not better. Cameroon is bad defensively, man. So I mean, I know Cameroon should win, but something tells me Cameroon's gonna mess it up. Something just tells me that for some reason. I don't trust Cameroon, especially Onana in goal. Do you think I'm trusting him?
I think it could be like a Ghana versus Comoros situation.
Exactly. And instead,
well, you've got a draw. So, but still, it was still a 0 versus 1 point situation.
Yeah. All right. Someone said this comment right here. Riri says, sorry, but I have to say this. Onana is such a bad goalie. Yeah, Onana's bad, man. Onana's bad. Matt, should we move on?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Guinea should have destroyed Gambia. Gambia were so bad. Gambia's only lucky it only ended 1-0, so lost to them. Group D, man. Take a flipping bow Angola. Wow. This is incredible. I did not see this coming.
Well, I thought the Mauritania game was the game that they would most likely win. Mauritania did give Angola a good game, to be fair, although Angola definitely earned that win, and what a goal! Oh, I believe it was the third goal. That was a fantastic goal. I'd say they were the better of the two teams overall. And when it comes to that Burkina Faso game, I think it's going to be a close game. Burkina Faso, even though they had to score a penalty in the second half, they're looking better offensively compared to in the first game. There was also some questionable decisions that didn't go Algeria's way, like some fouls that went on to Baghdad Bunajad and Yusuf Boulaili, who, by the way, is the Algerian Mason Mount. But one of them included a rugby tackle, which didn't get checked by VAR. And speaking of Baghdad Bunajad, he's been the player that's got Algeria to where they are now. It's disappointing for them that they haven't got at least one win by now. But the fact they've got Mauritania in the next game, it's a game that they should win. And if they can win by 3 or maybe even 2 goals, and hope that Angola and Burkina Faso draw, then that puts them top of the table. But if they were facing a harder opponent, there'd be worrying signs for Algeria. But up against Mauritania, they should be winning that. And I would give Burkina Faso
another
a better
statement.
chance,
I'm going to say this
but
right
I'm
now.
thinking that other game will be a draw.
I'm going to say this right now. Riyad Mahrez shouldn't start for Algeria anymore, in my opinion. This guy is ineffective. He's been mid, and he hasn't been good for Algeria for a long time. I know people are going to tell me, "Oh, look what he's did in the tournament." Sorry, we say Matt.
I'd say Boulaili should be the first benched, and then you could maybe say Mahrez afterwards, which I'm not sure if the sub for Mahrez was that effective either.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, I think you need to at least try something different because Mahrez for me just isn't effective. Like, ever since that 2019 semifinal, he's not been relevant, and for Algeria at least when it comes to international football. You know, another player that I don't think should start is Bentaleb. I don't think he should start anymore. And Fegoli, those guys are bad. And you know, I just realized with Algeria, they've been great in this group, Matt. It's just that they made defensive errors. Basically, the goals they've conceded have been individual mistakes. Do you agree, Matt?
Yeah. Well, one of them was the offside, and the other one in this game was a carbon copy of what happened in the first one, where it was just a stupid mistake where even if you don't expect the player to be coming, surely whacking your leg out to try and clear the ball should be a sign that it could go wrong.
Yeah, and I'm going to shout out some Algeria players that played well. Obviously, I thought Amora was fantastic, and Chablis also was good. So, yeah, man, it's going to be interesting, man. Algeria, man. Like I think something better.
The player that came on for Boulaili also did very well, which you might have mentioned his name.
Yeah. So for Algeria, man, like I said, man, their team is good. It's just individual mistakes, man. They took too many dumb mistakes, and like Matt's put it out there, they should be able to beat Mauritania. Mauritania, for me, they defensively they haven't really been that great. So I think this is a beatable team. And although to be fair, Mauritania did score 2 very good goals, guys. Guys, after the stream, if you haven't seen the Mauritania goals, please check it out because Mauritania those were some great goals. Like one of the goals was like a Maradona dribble. He was like dribbling past the entire defense, which made me surprised. I was like, wow, I did not expect to see this. for Martini. And if I remember correctly, I think it's the first time Martini have scored in the Afcon open play goals, if I remember correctly. Maybe you can tell me if I'm wrong, Matt. But yeah, it's going to be interesting.
You might be right.
So,
yeah. I don't think they scored in the last Africa Cup of Nations. And I think you're right on that.
Yeah, and Burkina Faso, man, let's give some quick thoughts about them. For me, Burkina Faso has been great, but I think they got to do a bit more in attack. I've not really been that convinced. I feel like their attack has been kind of a bit dry in some sense, so I kind of expect more from them. But, they've been doing well. They have scored in 16 Afcon games consecutively, Mats, which is pretty insane. Do you agree, Mats?
Yeah.
So, yeah, any thoughts about the Angola for me have been amazing. They've done great in this group. I just think that for me, how do you think this group is going to finish out? Because for me, I think Burkina Faso will top. I think Algeria will come in second, and I think I have Angola to finish third.
I think Algeria is getting top 2, and I think it's going to be either a draw or a narrow Burkina Faso win. So my answer would be either Algeria or Burkina Faso.
Yeah. All right. Very interesting. Obviously, Mauritania. Tough luck to them. Okay. Let's read this comment. I'm sorry about Brad Guzan's better than Onana. Research says Algeria have been good, but they make too many dumb mistakes. Research says Angola will be top. Dude, imagine Angola tops this group. Do you think that can happen, Mats?
Yeah, that's in the realms of possibility.
So Burkina Faso have to win. I don't think they can top the group with a draw.
Yeah, a draw will put them behind Angola.
Interesting. Yeah, I hope Angola can do it, man. I think it'll be a difficult task, though. Group E. Tunisia have been so awful. I have been very disappointed in Tunisia. They have looked really bad. That game against Mali was so dreadful. So dreadful. That second half was garbage. They were good in the first half, to be fair. But then in Libya game, they were bad. Matt, are you surprised how bad Tunisia have been?
Yes, I am. Though, as for Matchday 2, I think this was the one on game I correctly predicted in terms of the score. That game against Mali had control of that centre midfield. That was where their strengths lay, and it was why you could see that most of Tunisia's attacks, including the goal, came from wide and balls in the box, which of course worked in the 20th minute. In the second half, we didn't see much. And speaking of Mali's strengths, there were various moments, including consecutively, where there were goal kicks that were going straight to the midfield of Mali, and then they'll take it back into the Tunisia half. Tunisia are in a position where they have to win, and they're capable of doing it, but it's a matter of we shall see, because that game could go either way. Not a bad point for Mali. South Africa, big turnaround, and it's making us starting to question that was that Namibia win against Tunisia a fluke? And Percy Tau finally made amends for that penalty miss against Mali. I think it's just going to be a matter of what happens in that South Africa versus Tunisia game based on what we saw today and yesterday.
See, the thing is, like, this is such a difficult group to call because I think South Africa, for me, as we've seen, they're a very unpredictable team. Like, times they can play really well, times they can play really crap. Because for me, in that Mali game, I would argue that they were the better team that first time. They should have at least scored one goal. And had they had scored a goal, we could have had it could have been a completely different game in the second half. And South Africa and Namibia, man. South Africa destroyed Namibia. Namibia, man, they were defensively awful. Namibia weren't that bad when it came to their chances up front, but South Africa were just clinical. Percy Tau finally scored a penalty. Zouani. And Tunisia, man, I just don't see enough goal scoring opportunities. The thing is, Tunisia isn't bad, but they just don't create enough chances for me. Like, they're just a team that is very – I don't know how to describe this. I think, this is actually good. Do you actually agree with this comparison? Do you like Switzerland?
I understand the analogy, although Tunisia is generally seen more on the upper end of like CAF, like top 5, fairly high top 10, and Switzerland, usually it's kind of a bit more behind the elite level of Europe.
Yeah. I think one thing we can all agree is that Tunisia are very boring. This is a team that doesn't really do a lot. They're not bad per se, but it's just that they're just not really effective when it comes to like the play as a whole. Because for me, the thing is, what I can see Tunisia doing is Tunisia is that they get capable. They're very unpredictable. We don't know what to expect with Tunisia. They can times be really good, at times be really bad. That's what I've kind of started to gauge with this team. So I feel like South Africa, for me, I feel like South Africa's gonna do this. I think South Africa's gonna beat Tunisia. I don't think Tunisia's gonna win. I haven't seen enough from Tunisia to convince me that they'll win. So,
but then you could also say that South Africa only managed to do it against Namibia, and maybe Tunisia are starting to build their way back after from what we saw against Mali. I think it's fairly 50-50 that game.
Yeah, that's a fair point. It's gonna be a cagey game. There's not gonna be a lot of goals, guys. I can guarantee that, right? It's gonna be very cagey. I don't expect a lot of goals. And for me, Mali, I think Mali's in the top of this group. I think Mali, for me, have the best midfield. I think they have the best defense. The best goalkeeper is just their attack is bad. That's the one area of concern, especially the striker.
Oh yeah, they missed quite a few good chances in that second half against Tunisia. They didn't even hit the target.
Yeah, so I think Mali, for me, so I would say this is how I think the group's going to finish. I think Mali's going to top. I think South Africa will get second. I think Namibia will get third, and I do think Tunisia will get last. So it'll be 7, 6, and then I think Namibia 3, and then Tunisia 1. Basically as it is right now.
Okay.
I don't know if that's going to be enough, though. Will that be enough for Namibia to qualify? With 3 points, with the -3 goal difference?
I mean, look at the goal difference as it is now.
Yeah,
if they lose, even if it's just a 1-0 or 2-0, that's a bad reading for when looking up to the other third place teams.
Yeah. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. So what do you think, Matt? How do you think this group's gonna finish out?
I have a feeling Tunisia might they might have a moment that they'll pounce upon, and I think Namibia is losing to Mali. So, but I think Tunisia might just find that one moment that they come up clutch with and end up getting second place.
Yeah, that could happen. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
But I'm expecting a close game.
Ruri says that Angola is so underrated. Yeah, I agree, man. Angola is a very underrated team. Like, this is a team that like are difficult to break down. Like this is a team that's difficult to score goals against. Like it's not easy to score goals against this team. So Burkina Faso's gonna have a tough time to do that. Do you agree, Matt?
Yeah.
River says in Namibia or garbage in the final third should have at least had 2 goals today against South Africa if they were better in the final third. I mean, yeah, they could have done better in the final third. River says I think South Africa 4-0 Namibia is flattering. Yeah, probably to some extent it is. But yeah, Namibia were bad defensively. So yeah, this group, I'm for the final match days, I'm really keeping a close eye on this group because this group is interesting. I think this group probably has the best final match day games because every one of those teams can still advance. And
what about? Oh yeah, now that you put it that way,
because I can see Namibia even get a draw against Mali. I like as much as we think Mali should win, they could maybe get a draw.
Very well.
Yeah. All right, for this group, Mats. Morocco, man. Should we be concerned with Morocco?
I thought they had, for the most part, they had a good game against DR Congo. And whilst there was whilst they did concede that goal, and they might be disappointed to not win. I don't think there's too much to worry about from their point of view. I don't think they did a lot wrong against DR Congo, to be honest. And then also DR Congo was another fairly good display from them. And from what I've seen in both games, they should have enough to beat Tanzania on the last game.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Morocco, I think they should. No, Morocco played Zambia on the final match day, not Tanzania.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Morocco's just. I think Morocco's just a little top. I think for me the issue with Morocco is just that their final third. Yeah, the final third is just bad for them. They're just not clinical front of goal. Like I feel like without Yusuf En-Nesyri, there's no real reliable goal scorers on Morocco. That's kind of the problem I have. Do you agree?
Yeah. I mean, it took Hakim Emi being in the box for a corner for them to score.
Yeah, and you're not going to get those are not going to happen like once every while. You know, it's not going to happen every game. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
As for DR Congo, I thought they were impressive. I thought they had a great game against Morocco. Were able to salvage a draw from a losing position, like they did against Zambia as well. I just realized, but they just don't have enough quality in the final third. That's the problem. And I'm sorry, Bakumbu guys have been awful. That Bakumbu guy should not start anymore. I'm saying this right now. So, yeah. Because the substitutes actually combined. So I think
the substitutes were
very smart.
very good. That might have been what got them the result.
Yeah. So shout out to DR Congo and Zambia, man.
Oh my god.
I've been disappointed with Zambia, Mats. And I think you're probably the most disappointed of everyone. That's not even as
I can just I can just be grateful that I'm not famous. Because if I was, I'd be clowned almost about as much as Mackwell.
Yeah.
With that game against Tanzania, almost nothing went their way from a footballing point of view. I won't speak too much about the decisions because in terms of free kicks and stuff, it was probably about normal. But
that red card was fair.
This is a game that they should have been winning at least 2 by 2. Tanzania didn't even have a proper manager, and yes, there was the interim managers clearly did a good job at galvanizing the team, but nonetheless, Pats and Daka missed a good opportunity before that goal went in, and then Zambia concede what was an avoidable goal, not only in terms of giving the ball away, but at not leaving gaps in the defence. The red card, I think there was definitely a foul, but as for the second yellow, I thought it was a bit soft.
I think the
definitely
yellow was fair. Yeah, I see. If that was a straight red, that would have been harsh. That would have been extremely harsh. I wouldn't agree with that. A yellow card, I can understand why it was given.
That's why I'm saying soft, not wrong. But being down to 10 men definitely faltered Zambia throughout a lot of the second half, and Daka was not doing well in front of goal. And in fact, there was that one effort where he probably should have chipped it over to Fashion Sakala, who could have easily scored.
Oh yeah,
Tanzania actually did pretty well with their effort. Whenever they took,
I think.
Whenever they took the ball to Zambia's penalty area in the second half, they did pretty well at that. Zambia, of course, should have done better in the attack, and they did get that goal. But the surprise,
it was a great header.
Yeah, it was. The surprising part for me was the lack of urgency to get back and be ready for kickoff to get the win. If I was on that pitch, I'd be shouting to get it back, as opposed to going over to the corner and celebrating. In fact, I'd probably be going to the net and grabbing the ball.
Do you think they got too carried away with the celebration?
Yes, I think they needed some. They needed some kind of leader that would be able to say there's still more to do. It kind of reminds me of that one on a season where Bristol Rovers beat Walsall, where they were 1 goal down but got 2 late goals. The equaliser, you had the younger players like celebrating the goal, whilst the more experienced players being the vocal point of saying, "Don't get carried away. We can still win this." And whilst Zambia didn't have many chances afterwards, it could have helped. But of course, they shouldn't have even had to have been in this position. But Tanzania, they had a fairly good game. For the most part, they made the most of being the extra man up. I don't think they're going to be beating DR Congo, but it's an okay way to get your first goal in open play.
Yeah, I mean, I think what is it called? Tanzania should have finished the game off the first half. They had numerous chances. I don't think Zambia really good in the first half. The second half they came alive, I would say, but yeah. It's a frustrating one for Zambia, but hey, at least they got a draw, man. Because had they lost, it would have been really, really bad position, right, Mats?
Did you say it's a really bad position?
Yeah, they had lost to Tanzania.
Oh, it would be horrendous.
Yeah. So looking at I think this is how it's going to finish. I think Morocco, DR Congo will advance. And unfortunately, I don't think Zambia and Tanzania will advance. That's my prediction.
DR Congo will be fine. For Zambia, it's just a case of do or die, not in terms of exposing themselves, but it's a matter of if you're going through, you've got to be good enough, and they're going to be tested against Morocco. I don't know I don't know what level of pressure that's going to be, but yeah, I think both the top two sides will win, but still.
So which third place team? So I have Group C and Group F to not make it through. Then everyone else to make it through. I guess.
I would say Group F and E. Oh no, not E, because I don't think Namibia will. That's a hard one, to be honest.
Yeah, it's difficult. Like Asian Cup was like pretty. I think we had like pretty much the same. I think we pretty much agreed. The Afcon is pretty hard. I think me and you both can agree that Group F team is not making it through.
Yeah. For Zambia, it's clearly going to come down to not beating Tanzania, because if they were able to get a 2 or a 3-0 win, then all they just need to do is keep it tight, and potentially that they could get second place or better.
Okay.
But now they've got to either win or match DR Congo's draw, if that was to even happen.
Dude, I don't even think a draw would be enough. I think they have to win. I think they have to beat Morocco.
Well, if hypothetically DR Congo and Zambia both drew, then Zambia would have to score more, because DR Congo currently have the better disciplinary points.
Oh yeah, dude, that would be so harsh. Imagine. So basically, remember the World Cup 2018? I think Japan made it through on disciplinary points. Please, I don't want that to happen again. Please no. Okay, so let me just run through the groups real quick. I want to hear Matt's third place team. So, Matt, you got, I think you have the Group A. So, you're Equatorial Guinea to finish there. So
I think Equatorial Guinea will be fine.
Ghana.
Potentially, though that's one I would maybe review. Probably I'd probably put Ghana and Cameroon in the same boat. I think Group D will have a team going through whoever it is.
I think A and D is pretty certain. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay. And the E, I think, is also certain as well. Actually, E is well. It depends. If Namibia finished third, then no. But anyway, it's other Tunisia. Yeah, I would say.
Agreed. But Tunisia can't finish third unless.
Wait, they can. Wait, how come they can't?
Wait, it would have to basically. I think Mali would have to happen with Mali.
Wait, so Tunisia
Namibia would have to beat Mali if Tunisia were to finish third.
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. Okay.
But I guess it was. I suppose it would have to be one of Ghana, Cameroon, or South Africa to be, or two of them to go through.
Yeah, I agree with you, Matt. I think one of Ghana, Cameroon, or South Africa.
I'll say Cameroon on goal difference, because I think South Africa and Ghana might stay on a positive goal difference.
Ooh, it's gonna be tight, man. It's gonna be tight. If Tunisia can't break that Namibian defense, they aren't going anywhere. Come on, I mean, Tunisia can win. I wouldn't be too surprised, but do I think it's gonna happen? I don't think so, but Matt says he thinks it will happen, so we'll see. Remember, you can't peak too early. That's a good point. Riri Sage makes a great point. You don't want to peak too early. You want to build as the tournament progresses. Riri Sage says Zambia disappointing me. Riri Sage says DR Congo, my dark horses. DR Congo is a good pick. Anyways, we did this around 2 hours and 5 minutes. I think we did enough discussion. Thank you, Matt, for joining me. And of course, we'll do this again on Wednesday for the Afcon, and I think Thursday the Asian Cup. So we'll do reviews of that on those respective days. Again, Matt. So thank you for joining, man. Do appreciate it. Of course, I'll leave a link to his description below to his channel. And I'm looking forward to Matchday 3, man, because we have some drama in the match. We got some drama in some of these groups, man. Groups E is going to be dramatic. I think Group C could be dramatic. Group B could be dramatic, and potentially even Group D. So,
I think Group A is my favorite in terms of what could happen in between the teams on Matchday 3.
Yeah. All right, so remember, guys, to like and subscribe. How many likes go on to the stream? We got 6 likes. Okay, kind of disappointing, but it's okay. I think more people will watch on the replay, and maybe more people like on the replay. So, hope you guys did enjoy. I know it's pretty late for you, Matt. It's already midnight for you, so sorry for making this so long. And yeah, thank you guys for watching today's stream. A very long stream, man. Usually I don't stream for this long, but today we had to do a special because we combined both Afcon and Asian Cup. So, guys, like and subscribe. Become a member to get a channel to get access to members' videos and member streams. And yeah, I'll see you guys later, man. Peace out.